So just to be to include the previous question in the interview as well, if you just quickly tell us about all the things that you yourself are doing during the lockdown, and if there's any new hobbies that you have picked up while you're stuck at home.
Yeah, so yes, you're right. I think all of us are stuck at home, and as we were just discussing, I think all of us have turned into either mini chefs or serious chefs. There are no non-chefs
No
anymore,
non-chefs, yeah.
and and I have also tried my hands, partly successfully and partly unsuccessfully, at cooking.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
there
so
are
I think
good days and there are bad days, I'm guessing, when it comes to
yes.
cooking. Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much work and a little bit of family time
Right.
and little bit of cooking. I think that's the way it's been for me.
That's. But what about Vivo though? How is Vivo doing during the lockdown?
Yeah,
So
see, we're also this of course came as a sudden shock to all of us. I think
yeah,
across the country. For us as individuals and I think also as an organization, we suddenly had to adapt to quite a few things.
right.
100% work from home, everybody being on calls, etc., etc. But I think everybody's been coping up fairly well. And that's the way it's been for us also. While
Correct.
of course all the markets are shut, there isn't any selling which we can do
No.
right now. But of course, there are some long-term projects, long-term thinking that can go on, and I think that's what we are focusing on right now.
Right. Nipun, so all your employees are working from home and even your factories are shut. And we have a tentative timeline of when this lockdown is lifting, which is May 3rd, which again, condition is that if it gets worse, then it's going to get extended again. Right. So is there an exit plan for your company right now? Have you thought of any so far, or is there anything that you guys are ensuring so that even if the lockdown gets lifted, the threat of coronavirus is not going to go away anytime soon. So even if you open up, there needs to be some steps that needs to be taken to ensure the safety. So is there any steps that you can share with us about that?
Yeah, so see, we are following the news very carefully,
Right.
and I think we'll all have to go by what the government's advisory and directive is for all of us.
Correct.
So as and when, so I think right now it's a wait and watch till May 3rd on
Yeah.
what exactly are the next steps, which the government tells us to
Right.
follow.
Right.
Then accordingly, we will take necessary steps, whether it's at the factory level, whether it's at the office level. If there is social distancing which has to be maintained, then of course, that will be done. Whatever the government says and whatever is in the best interest of, I think, society at large and our organization in particular, including
Correct.
all our employees, I think we
Right.
will accordingly take those necessary steps.
That's really good to hear. But Nipun, are things going to remain the same for Vivo going forward? Is there some change in strategy that you're looking at? Probably because a lot of economists and analysts are predicting a severe slowdown that's going to strike right after the lockdown is going to get lifted, right? And is there some shuffling around that you are looking at in terms of your strategies for this year?
Okay. Yeah, see, of course, at a macroeconomic level, things certainly are not looking as bright and rosy as they were possibly 4 to 6 months back.
Right,
So, yes, there are challenges. There are challenges at the growth level, challenges at the employment level, challenges, at the MSME, SME level. So yes, there are going to be challenges going forward also. Uh, I think that's on a little pessimistic side, and that's one side of the situation. I
right,
also believe that India is a very strong country, and I believe India is a land of opportunities. So for individuals as well as brands like us. So therefore, I think the demand will bounce back much sooner than I think all of us expect,
right.
especially I think in the mobile phone industry. So yes, things will be tough and there will be challenges in the short term, but things will recover also soon. I don't see a very gloomy situation in the midterm to long term. Short term,
Right.
yes, there will be some challenges.
And I was just reading something good about Vivo right now, that you guys have overtaken Samsung now in the Indian smartphone market, according to Canalys.
Yeah, thank you. However, I think it's just one step at a time that we are taking, and that's what we are focusing on. For
Right.
us, it's all about how we can continue to serve our consumers better, how we can continue to be meaningful for our employees, for our retail partners, for our distributors, for partners like you. I think
Right.
it's the whole ecosystem has to be happy and satisfied with Vivo. That's the only endeavor we have.
Right, right. So, Nipun, you also had the plans of launching the Vivo V19 in India right before the lockdown was announced. So, what happens to that smartphone? Is it going to get launched right after the lockdown will be lifted, or are you looking at a change in your 2020 roadmap? Because I'm guessing you have already lost like half a quarter of this year already. So, any comment on that?
Uh, yes, V19 was on the anvil. We were about to launch it, and just when we were about to launch, all of this happened. So yes, we are. We will look at launching V19 whenever the market is ready and whenever rules permit us. And yes, for the rest of the year, the roadmap, if required, we will have to shift it or adjust it a little bit. But I think
Right.
those things we will take into consideration as and when picture becomes clearer to us.
Right. Do you see a change in buying patterns for people, like a little bit devaluation in the average price of a smartphone that people are ready to pay for, or even like to go for more spec heavy offerings than say a design heavy offering, something like that? Do you see something of like in those lines to be changing after the lockdown?
Mm, I think little difficult to say right now. It
Okay.
will only be a conjecture, actually.
Right. Right.
It will be
Right.
difficult to say because there are customers and there are preferences. Why a customer chooses what the customer chooses.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have to see how the market unfolds.
Right, right. And I'll come to all the things that Vivo is doing to help the society at large during just such time. But you also command a huge customer base right now. And there can be a possibility that at least even one of your customers might need to head to a repair center or a service center with their Vivo phone during the lockdown, because some damage must have happened to it. So what happens to that person right now? Will he be able to get any sort of service from you guys right now? Or is there some plans that you're looking at to help in
Yeah.
these situations?
Yeah, our after sales service team is working very hard in ensuring a quick turnaround as and when again when things open up and we're allowed to do something. We
Right.
will like to serve our customers very quickly because I think speed will be of essence. And you're
Absolutely.
right, there will be quite a few customers who will be facing some kind of issues, hardware, software in their phones, and they will queue up at service centers
Right.
immediately after the lockdown opens. So our service team has already prepared a few plans, and I think we will be executing them as soon as the lockdown lifts.
Right. And how are you keeping in touch with your customers right now? You have your own community and everything, and there's often a lot of content that runs on your social pages. So anything other than that that you're using to, stay in touch with your users and customers?
So social media is all pervasive, all prevalent these days, and I think social
Absolutely.
media is possibly the best way by which we can uh, connect with our audience, engage with our customers. If they have any queries, respond to those queries. And that's what we are doing right now through our social media. We are responding to each and every query that is coming our way.
Awesome. Awesome. Now I'm coming to the big question. I know Vivo is doing a lot of things to help the government, the healthcare workers, the society as a whole in controlling and flattening the curve, right? And why don't you tell us a little about all the initiatives that Vivo has taken up to help India right now in this situation?
Okay. So, first of all, I'd say it's not that we are doing anything great or we've done something out of the world. I think as a responsible corporate, responsible individuals, whatever is in our limited capacity, that's what we are focusing on and that's what we are working towards.
Right.
So that's the first thing. Second, yes, whatever we've done, we Maharashtra was the worst hit. So we started off
Yes.
with Maharashtra, where we donated 1 lakh masks, surgical masks, and 5,000 N95 masks. So during the course of our donations, the total number of masks which we have now contributed is around 9 lakh. So we've
That's
done
a
around 9 lakh
big number.
masks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in addition to, so first of all was masks where we contributed. Then from masks we moved to PPEs, which is personal protective equipments.
Correct.
There we have donated around 15,000 PPEs to the central government.
Okay.
In addition to the PPEs, we've also donated around 50,000 liters of sanitizers, hand
That's
sanitizers.
yeah.
Yeah. So these things are what we've done at the ground level. In addition to the masks and the PPEs, we also released a film which is called Heroes Who Care, because we believe this is a time when our doctors and our healthcare workers are really coming on the forefront and
Yes.
ensuring all of us are safe at home.
Yes.
So it's very important to recognize their efforts, and
Absolutely.
that's what we also wanted to convey through our video message.
Absolutely. It's really commendable all the things that you're doing as Vivo, as yourself, as a leader of company. So while my last question in this regard is you are a leader of one of the largest smartphone brand or a technology brand in India. And as a leader of one of the largest tech brands, do you believe that technology in essence can play a big role in flattening the curve?
I think absolutely. There is absolutely no doubt about it. And I'll say there are multiple reasons for that. First of all, the fact that our lives are somewhat continuing,
Correct.
even in this lockdown. The credit goes to technology. Credit goes to, I think, the whole piece of mobile phone technology, whether it's at the handset level or at the operator level or the whole ecosystem. I think had imagined a lockdown without our mobile phone. So I think it's because of this piece of technology, we have really been able to somehow maintain our sanity, if I may say so.
That's true. That's true. But anything that technology can do to, eradicate coronavirus off the face of the
I hope, I wish
earth. Because
everybody
that's
is.
that's I think that's the biggest focus right now, at least this year.
Yeah, yeah. And I think there are strong minds working behind it. And there are trials I've been reading, hearing. There are trials which have already been started. Some trials have also shown initial success. That also I've read at a couple of places. So the coming times, I think we will see some good news from some corner.
Yes, that's
And
that's all that we are hoping for right now.
I'm also waiting for that happy moment.
Chalo. That's all the questions that I had for you, Nipun. And thank you so much for your time and that you spent with us. And it's a good round of Q&A that we had. I took away a lot of things that I probably didn't know about Vivo and all the things that they were doing. And that's really good. Keep it up and do stay safe and stay at home.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to
Yes.
and stay safe. That's my wish to you and to all your viewers.
Thank you.